This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg's 144-year-old Manwin Hotel has burned to the ground. The building has been vacant for nearly 12 months, but has raised safety concerns for years. Well, no one was hurt. The fire threatened a prominent nearby homeless shelter, leaving dozens of people uprooted. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel reports.
Flames and smoke surround the Manwin Hotel in downtown Winnipeg. By the time crews responded shortly before 4 in the morning, this platoon chief says it was too late to save the building.
It's a total loss. This building will be torn down, demolished once we get the fire out.
No injuries were reported, but right next door, Main Street Project's emergency homeless shelter was evacuated. 150 people were forced out. Corey Fillion among them.
The staff were saying, "Get out, it's a real fire." And then I saw the smoke coming from the wall.
The fire closed down parts of Main Street and Logan Avenue for most of the day. Nearby organizations, including Silo Mission, stepped up to support those who were displaced.
It puts everything in a bit of state of chaos for folks, and they're kind of cramming into other spaces.
Main Street Project says about 40 of its clients have already been moved to this community center on Isabel Street. This temporary overnight shelter could house more than 75 people until the city and Main Street Project assess the damage to its buildings.
Our food bank especially, I know there's about a foot of water in that building at 661 Main, and so we're probably going to throw out all the food and potentially all of our donated items depending on the smoke damage in that building.
In recent years, the 144-year-old hotel has been plagued by crimes and safety concerns. Last January, the city ordered it closed for good due to fire safety and structural issues, and the hotel's been vacant since. Mayor Scott Gillingham says the city made the right call last year.
And this could have been a much worse tragedy if there were dozens of people still living there.
Manwin's owner did not comment. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
There was another demonstration in front of the Manitoba legislature today expressing support for protesters in Iran. About 2,500 people have died in recent weeks in demonstrations against the Iranian regime. The vast majority of the dead are protesters. Some of the demonstrators here in Winnipeg have families still in that country.
It's the time that the government of Manitoba and also Canadian government support Iranian people, be the voice of Iranian people to stop the regime of Iran.
There are about 1,500 Manitobans of Iranian descent, according to Statistics Canada. Well, good news if your grocery list includes milk. The province is freezing prices in 2026, but only for 1-liter cartons. For more, we're joined by Ian Fraze live in our newsroom. So, Ian, there are probably some or even many people who don't know Manitoba actually controls the price of those 1-liter cartons of milk. So why is the province saying no to a price increase?
Well, Brittany, the Premier keeps talking about cutting grocery prices, and now here's one small way he can do exactly that. The price for a liter of milk was supposed to rise this year by 4 cents, but after the province spoke to the regulator, it's holding the price at around $2 depending on the fat content. Canoe admits it won't make a major difference, but he calls it a win-win for everyone.
Dairy farmer is still going to get an increase. The wholesaler, they're going to get the increase. But the margin that you pay, that's where we're going to see the squeeze happening. So you won't have to pay more, but also the farmer will still be getting enough to cover their considerations, like around their cost of doing business.
One thing to note, these regulated milk prices can be higher in some northern communities because of transportation costs.
Okay, so Ian, what about expanding price controls to, say, 2- and 4-liter jugs? Is the Premier considering that?
Yeah, Brittany, he says he's actually asked his staff to study that idea. Kate Kaler with the Social Planning Council says it would have a positive impact.
If you're buying for a family, for example, you go for the 4-liter jug. So it would be very beneficial if they could actually look at that as well, understanding that the producers need to make a profit as well.
Now, Brittany, the maximum price for a 1 liter usually rises by a few pennies every year. But back in 2022, during a period of high inflation, the price increased by a quarter. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Ian Fraze. Canada's armed forces are in Pimachikamak Cree Nation. Military members are working alongside local tradesmen and volunteers to get hundreds of damaged homes repaired. And there's no shortage of work to be done. CBC's Eric Westhaver is in the First Nation with the latest.
There are boots on the ground in Pimachikamak Cree Nation. The Canadian Armed Forces has joined the fight after a devastating power outage. 7 soldiers came to town earlier this week. 3 more are coming Wednesday. Lieutenant Colonel Arthi Prabhakaran is the technical assessment team commander. She said the soldiers' job is to hear what help locals need.
Right now we're on receive mode. We're trying to absorb as much information and understand the problems.
The area's power supply was cut off late last month. Hydro is back on, but freezing cold caused thousands of water and sewer leaks. Hundreds of homes have been affected. Those who stayed behind are often lacking food and drinking water. Plumbers have come from across Western Canada to help. Bo Beardy didn't have to go that far. He's from Pimachikamak. He's seen the effect the outage and leaks have had. His home is okay, but many others aren't.
It's just sad that like people are just here washing dishes in bowls, and we just gotta get the water going because like everybody needs water. Water is like a part of our life, and we need it to survive.
The local public works office has become a headquarters for people in need of food and essentials. Sonia Spence is with the nation's community support. She says that many people's food spoiled during the outage.
There was 500 meat hampers yesterday, and they went within 2 hours, 3 hours.
People have been coming for baby formula and diapers, for clean water and staple foods.
We have the grocery stores open up, we have the community open up pretty much, but there was a downfall there with people, like our majority of the community is on social assistance.
It may take months for the community to recover from the outage, but for Beardy and company, the work must continue.
See like the joy in people's faces once plumbers come in. They know that we tell them that we're gonna get this house running as soon as we can. I could feel that we could see the relief on their faces that their house is getting looked at.
4,000 people in Pimachikamak evacuated from their homes when the power went off. Some have returned, and leaders hope the rest can come back soon. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, Pimachikamak Cree Nation.
Health officials say 4 people died last year after contracting invasive meningococcal disease. Cases of the potentially fatal bacterial illness have been rising over the past 2 years. The majority of cases disproportionately affect northern Indigenous communities. It spreads through direct contact like sneezing or sharing drinks. Symptoms include a dark purple rash, severe headache, fever, nausea, vomiting, a stiff neck, and sensitivity to light. About 10% of people die from the disease. Health officials are asking Manitobans to check their immunization records and make sure they're up to date. City of Winnipeg is moving ahead with new safety upgrades at Millennium Library. It plans to install panes of glass between 7 and 8 feet high around the staircase and balconies. A man jumped to his death in August last year. Another person attempted to go over the guardrail just a couple weeks later. Community Services Chair Vivian Santos says the goal is prevention.
We've had some unfortunate circumstances that occurred last year, and it's very disheartening to know that certain people are wanting to do that at the Millennium Library inside. So I think these are definite preventative measures.
The city expects installation to begin shortly after the request for proposals closes on February 6th. All right, time now to bring in Riley Lachak. And Riley, a stark contrast today in the south compared to yesterday.
Yeah, and honestly, we're now on the way back up, Brittany, as we get into the evening hours here, as a warm front starts to push into western parts of the province. And that's where I'm going to start tonight because, as expected, radar indicating some of that transition over from flurries to either a mix or some freezing rain into the Swan River area as we get into the evening tonight. Flin Flon, the Paw reporting some light snow and some ice pellets into the afternoon as well as this frontal boundary starts to push in. So you can see where some of those pink colors are. That's radar indicating that transition over to some freezing rain. This doesn't carry through the rest of southern Manitoba through the evening, but there is that risk through the Parkland and into parts of the Interlake that we do get into some freezing rain this evening. For the Red River Valley, scattered flurries through the evening tonight, looking at temperatures rising overnight to -7 by tomorrow morning. We'll keep heading up as we get into the day on Thursday, -5 first thing in the morning. And then we're looking at this main area of low pressure I've been talking about for the last couple of days, Brittany, starting to push in to southern Manitoba as we get through the day. So at the freezing mark, expect a bit of a messy one tomorrow. I'll talk about that when I come back.
All right, a good reminder to stay safe out on those roads. Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, we have much more ahead right after this. Stay with us. We're learning more about the bus rollover that injured 14 students near Mafeking. Shared Health says all but one person is expected to be out of hospital by the end of the day. CBC's Michelle McDougall spoke to one of the emergency responders who were first on scene and sprung quickly into action.
What began as a typical bus ride to school became a life-threatening emergency when a school bus full of students pulled out to pass on an icy highway, lost control and flipped in the ditch. 14 students and the driver were injured. When Birch River's Fire Chief Dave Forbes and his 8 members arrived, some children were walking around in the snow.
Our role was to ensure that those people made it off the bus into the care of ambulance services.
The bus flipped Tuesday morning on Highway 10 between Mafeking and Swan River. Shared Health says first responders arrived within 10 minutes of the call, adding that a total of 8 ambulances responded, along with 12 off-duty paramedics who came to help. And once all the children and driver were taken off the bus, they were triaged, their injuries assessed.
The second bus, we used it to keep the kids warm because we didn't have enough vehicles at that time, initially, to house all the kids.
The bus belongs to Sapatoya Cree Nation's Education Authority. Chief Nelson Janai says today's focus was ensuring those affected had proper counseling from the Swan Valley School Division to reassure students that they're safe on the bus.
This was a one-time accident, and at the same time, you need to keep on living, So the school is one way to keep on going, because you're going to have some hesitation from students, maybe even wanting to get in the vehicle, right? Is it safe to get in the vehicle?
I spoke with Dwayne White, councillor with the town of Swan River, who says the crash is still the topic of every conversation.
I can just say that the community is quite concerned and empathetic and hurting for those people, obviously. But it's a state of flux still. I wasn't there. I certainly can't comment. But I think the good news is that no casualties.
Of the 15 people injured in the bus crash, just one patient is recovering at Swan Valley Health Centre, and according to Shared Health, that person is in stable condition. And the 3 patients that were airlifted to Health Sciences Centre are expected to be released later. Michelle McDougall, CBC News, Brandon.
Ask children about artificial intelligence. They've probably heard of it, used it, and might already have opinions about it. But how is it being used in the classroom? Tonight, the CBC's Alana Cole takes us inside one Winnipeg school to find out.
Let's click here, our process.
At General Wolfe School in Winnipeg, it's a different kind of assignment for this group of grade 8 and 9 students.
Do you want to show me a little bit about how you might use AI? Yeah, sure.
That's right, teaching me how artificial intelligence fits into assignments. Chual Money Bunny used it to learn about cardiac surgeons.
I saw the list of what it was saying, and then after I went to the trustable sources and see if it lined up.
Denis Karachihov's first language, Ukrainian. AI's helping him learn English.
The words I didn't know in English, but I know in my first language, that would I will search in AI to help me with.
And he shows us how it helps with complicated words.
She's incorporating AI into the project,
yeah.
But the research was hers, yeah. And the thought was hers.
In a world where artificial intelligence is at our fingertips, teacher Donovan Ponce says we can't ignore it. He's a grade 7 STEM and project-based learning teacher.
We're in the age of information, but we're in the age of misinformation as well, right? There's so many things that students can see on their social media feeds that I want them to question the validity of it. So I think there's so much AI-generated content online that we need to teach students how to discern from real and fake information.
His approach, in part, showing students how to use AI responsibly, checking information with credible sources, and learning how to paraphrase or put information into their own words. Lessons they're paying attention to.
I've used AI for some research, but I don't straight up copy. I use it as a starting point to get to the question I want.
So I essentially just
saw AI, and each answer it gave me, I knew it had different sources, so I checked each sources to see if it was reliable.
Shamira Salazar's thinking about what's ahead too.
Do you ever have any worries about it?
How it's gonna be in the future, because the difference between last year and this year, last year you could tell the difference between AI and non-AI, but this year it's becoming more realistic, and some people don't can't tell the difference between AI and non-AI.
The Winnipeg School Division doesn't have specific policies on AI, but has a framework and says now staff and teachers are examining what that looks like in the classroom. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, it is getting harder and harder to determine what is real and what is
Yeah.
fake. So it is nice to see them learning at a younger age what is real, this roller coaster we're on when it comes to the weather.
We are headed back up again across southern Manitoba tonight, and then we're going to go on the steep dive right down as we get toward the weekend. In between now and then, the story, Brittany, not so much the snow, but it will be the wind. So we'll talk about both of those things as we get through the next couple of minutes here. So as you can see on satellite imagery here, cloud cover again starting to build back into the province. I mean, we did enjoy a bit of sunshine into the Red River Valley through parts of the afternoon at least, but certainly cloudier. Now to some of this, particularly on the western side of the province, we have seen some ice pellets, some light snow into Flin Flon this afternoon, and radar indicating the potential for some mixed precipitation or some freezing rain starting to push in to the parkland. All along this warm front, the leading edge of this next area of low pressure as it nudges its way into the province. So this does bring with it the chance of a few scattered flurries into the Red River Valley as we get through the evening tonight, overnight into Thursday morning, but certainly more of a snow event into parts of northern Manitoba, closer to where this main low starts to push across the north as we get into the morning. Then we get into a bit of a dry slot as we get into Thursday morning for south and central parts of the province, and much warmer temperatures. But then on the back side of this, we'll get some snow starting to develop, a pretty scattered in nature. I'm not expecting any major accumulations across south and central parts of the province, maybe to the tune of 2 to 4 centimeters on the high end. In fact, with temperatures close to or just above the freezing mark by the afternoon tomorrow, some of this may even be falling as rain as we get through the afternoon. And then the cold front comes in behind this, and this will pick up winds as we get through into Friday, and also drop our temperatures quite substantially as we get into the weekend here, as we get another ridge of high pressure starting to build in as we get into the weekend here. So again, snowfall totals for the south, more like 2 to 4 centimeters on the high end, but for northern Manitoba, places like Thompson through Gillam into Lynn Lake, 10 to 15 centimeters certainly possible out of this system over the next 24 or 36 hours or so. For the rest of us, the story is certainly the winds, so they will start to pick up as we get through the night, looking at more southerly winds in the south, 20 gusting to 40 first thing, but as that cold front comes through, we'll see that wind switching to more of a north to northwesterly flow. So that will have a bit of a bite to it as we get overnight Thursday into Friday, and looking at gusts up to 60, certainly possible in parts of southern Manitoba, and even up to 60 or 70 in northwestern Manitoba. So that even if we don't get a whole ton of snow in southern Manitoba, we'll certainly blow some of that around as we get into Thursday into Friday. So just keep that in mind with any visibility concerns and travel. Temperatures by the afternoon above 0 in southern Manitoba, 2 degrees in Portage, -5 in Thompson, and the long range looks like this, Brittany, down to -15 for Friday, -23 on the way for Saturday.
All right, thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
And you're looking at a cold but beautiful sunset over Pimachikamak Cree Nation as we head to break. Much more straight ahead. Iran's top judge is signaling fast trials and executions lay ahead for people detained during weeks of nationwide protests against the government. It's an apparent challenge to the U.S. president, who's warned he'd take very strong action if executions took place. An American-based human rights group is now reporting that Tehran's crackdown has killed more than 2,500 protesters. Protests started in late December over the country's faltering economy and have grown into an anti-government movement. Iranian state TV aired images of large crowds gathered for a mass funeral for 300 security members said to have been killed in the unrest. It's prompted some Iranians to flee to neighboring Turkey. Denmark is expanding its military presence in Greenland. It comes as officials from the two places were in Washington for talks with senior White House officials. Chris Reyes has the latest from New York.
I think that it's never been so important to initiate that we are allies, we are friends.
Danish and Greenland foreign ministers came out of a high-stakes meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, saying they agreed to keep on talking with their U.S. counterparts. The meeting was requested by Denmark amidst growing tensions, fueled by a series of statements from President Trump calling for the U.S. to acquire Greenland. In a post this morning, Trump said, NATO becomes far more formidable and effective with Greenland in the hands of the United States. Anything less than that is unacceptable. After the meeting, Trump said this.
We have a very good relationship with Denmark, as you know, we'll see. But, we're doing the Golden Dome, we're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything about it.
Denmark and Greenland have increased military presence around the island, with reinforcements from Sweden, Norway, and Germany. Ahead of the meeting, Greenland's leaders said they want to remain a part of Denmark, a position they reiterated following the talks.
The Premier made it very, very clear yesterday that Greenland, for the time being and for foreseeable future, will remain within the Kingdom of Denmark. And therefore, this is a common position that we want to work with our American friends and allies, but it must be respectful cooperation, and it must respect the red lines.
Trump has repeatedly said that acquiring Greenland is a matter of national security. On that front, the Denmark and Greenland ministers acknowledged Trump's concerns.
The President has made his view clear, and we have a different position. We, the Kingdom of Denmark, continue to believe that also the long-term security of Greenland can be ensured inside the current framework. The 1951 agreement on the defense of Greenland, as well as the NATO treaty.
According to the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland, a high-level working group will be assembled in the weeks ahead to keep the dialogue with the U.S. open. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
Officials say at least 32 people are dead and 66 others have been injured in Thailand after a crane fell onto a passenger train. It happened about 230 kilometers northeast of Bangkok. The crane was working on a high-speed rail project when it collapsed onto two of the train's carriages. That caused it to jump the tracks and catch fire. Video shows multiple train cars crushed and tipped on their side as crews work to clear the wreckage. Officials say the cause is under investigation. Mark Carney has arrived in China, kicking off a critically important trade mission. It's been years of diplomatic tensions with Beijing. Now the Prime Minister and a team of Canadian officials are hoping to revive Canada's relationship with the country as our trade war with the U.S. drags on. The CBC's Ashley Burke is traveling with the Canadian delegation.
Mark Carney is here in Beijing, marking the first time that a Canadian Prime Minister has stepped foot in China in nearly a decade on an official visit. Both Beijing and Ottawa are trying to reset relations. Carney was met at the airport by Chinese officials, by Canada's ambassador to China. We also saw some Canadian flags hanging in the streets here. Now, this visit comes less than a year after Carney said that he believes the biggest threat to Canada's security is China. A public inquiry also concluded and warned that China is the most active perpetrator of foreign interference in Canada. Now, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Anita Anand, is here. She is traveling with the Prime Minister and is part of the delegation. She was asked if she still believes that China is a global disruptive power.
This is a new government with a new Prime Minister, a new foreign policy, and a new geopolitical environment. In this moment of economic stress for our country, it is necessary for us to diversify our trading partners and to grow non-U.S. trade by at least 50% over the next 10 years.
Part of the government's plan to diversify trade is to try and export more petroleum and liquefied natural gas to markets in Asia, including China. We are told that's something that is going to be discussed here during Carney's 2 days of talks. He'll be speaking to China's president and a series of other officials while here. The government is also facing pressure to get some sort of relief for Canada's agriculture sector, which is being hit by Chinese tariffs, including canola products. A Canadian official says that they are hoping to make progress, that there are active conversations, but they don't believe that during this visit they can get a complete elimination of those tariffs. Carney's meetings start on Thursday. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Beijing.
Well, you might call it Mickonomics. McDonald's is among a number of fast food chains that have cooked up some new ways to help Canadians afford a meal at one of their restaurants. Alexander Silverman now on why they're doing it and how it could be a winning strategy.
The lunchtime rush at McDonald's. But these days, the cost of burgers and fries is forcing some diners to watch their wallets.
It's too expensive. I don't even buy it, I just buy coffee.
A new reality the fast food giant is trying to act on. McDonald's is promising to drop prices to $5 for its McValue meals and keep small coffees at $1 for the next year.
Well, I mean, anybody can afford coffee at $1. I would think so anyway.
As food prices increase, even fast food is continuing to get more expensive. So restaurants are trying new strategies to lure in cost-conscious diners. 3/4 of Canadians say they're eating out less frequently because of the rising cost of living, according to an Angus Reid survey.
The consumers are becoming more price sensitive.
Marketing experts say chains like McDonald's once tried to broaden their appeal to customers willing to spend more and are now pivoting back.
McDonald's is doing this because they want to really go back to their core customer base. These are the customers who really care about the value that they can get from the brand.
This $1 coffee is part of a loss leader strategy designed to draw budget-conscious customers who might buy more once they're in the door or here at the drive-thru. But experts say smaller businesses could pay the price.
Who is going to be impacted? Will it be the farmers who are growing the food? Will it be the suppliers? The Canadian mom and pop shops and restaurants, they're not necessarily going to be able to cut their price down, and they're struggling, and they might even have to close up.
The heated up competition comes as more American brands expand into Canada, like Shake Shack and Jersey Mike's, while other large restaurants, including Taco Bell, A&W, and Burger King, are also fighting for customers by aggressively promoting meal deals. And chains like Chipotle are leaning into their rewards programs to keep young adult customers.
I think what we've noticed is a category slowdown for the 25 to 34-year-olds that are under the most financial pressure.
Pressure, too, for restaurants in an industry with increasingly razor-tight margins. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Regina.
Health Canada has issued new guidelines about the amount of vitamin D that must now be added to some foods. Jennifer LaGrassa now on the reason behind that change.
You can't taste it, but there's something different about your milk. It now has extra vitamin D. Health Canada says 1 in 5 Canadians aren't getting enough.
The reality is we live in Canada. We don't make vitamin D from the sun, 6 to 8 months of the year.
And you're likely not getting enough from your diet either. But vitamin D is essential, say experts.
Its primary use is
really helping us to absorb calcium into our bones to make, strong, healthy bones and teeth.
For decades, milk producers have been mandated to add vitamin D to milk and some other products. As of December 31st, Health Canada roughly doubled the amount for milk, goat's milk, and margarine. Yogurt and plant-based drinks are also allowed to include vitamin D, but it's not mandatory.
I take D drops, and I don't buy food with added D, just because I feel like I get it in food and I get it in my supplement.
In the winter, of course, you can't really rely on the sun, and so I take vitamin D every day.
For children and adults, Health Canada recommends between 10 to 15 micrograms a day of vitamin D. That number is higher for people who are older. While taking a supplement helps, experts say here's how else to meet the target.
You should take around 4 to 5 dairy products a day. So that means 2 to 3 glasses of milk plus some yogurt or a portion of cheese.
But experts caution you shouldn't have more than 100 micrograms, equivalent to 20 cups of milk per day or multiple vitamin D pills.
Vitamin D intoxication is very, very rare.
Health Canada says that if you don't consume products with vitamin D on a daily basis, you should be taking a supplement. Jennifer Lagrassa, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, it not only burned swaths of land, but Manitoba wildfires impacted animals. How one organization has been stepping up to help out. That story is coming up next. Last summer's wildfires were devastating for thousands of people and also for wildlife. Manitoba's largest animal rescue shelter reports a sharp increase in the number of animals it took in 2025. CBC's Jan McElraith visited a wildlife haven in Ile-des-Chênes to see how the organization is coping.
Thousands of animals came through the doors here at Wildlife Haven last year. At times, up to 300 animals were in the facility at once. Now, during the winter, just 35 patients are in their care, including one special patient. This snowy owl was found a few days before Christmas. It had a fractured wing. The owl had been hit by a car on the edge of Winnipeg. Amy Wilkie says it's not common to see these birds in the city.
Our team is working really hard to get this owl strong enough so that we can put it in an outdoor aviary, which is the final step in rehabilitation. So we are hopeful that this snowy owl will be able to be released back to the wild.
This owl is one of more than 2,500 animals that received care last year, a 30% increase compared to 2024. While the organization can't say for sure, Wilkie says habitat destruction during Manitoba's wildfire season likely had a role to play.
We're seeing a lot of baby animals, a lot of songbirds were coming in, a lot of hawks, like night hawks, which is kind of an unusual patient that we don't typically see during the summer months, were coming in. So we're thinking those were the animals that were getting displaced a lot.
The province says the impacts of wildfire, plus outbreaks of avian flu, West Nile virus, and mange might have contributed to the uptick in animal patients last year. Wilkie says Wildlife Haven has worked closely with the province to deal with avian flu patients. Plus, word is getting out about the largest rehabilitation centre in Manitoba. Wildlife Haven takes animals in from as far as Churchill.
As we become a bit bigger of an organization, the public is just figuring out who Wildlife Haven is, and so now they know that there's a place where they can bring an injured animal if they find it.
Staff hope to see fewer patients in 2026, but factors like wildfires are out of their control. Jan McElraith, CBC News, Ile-des-Chênes.
Riley back in now. And well, we had a few days of those warmer temperatures that some people were really loving. Many people really loving the colder temperatures because that ice is going to start to freeze back up. Get out there for some ice fishing, possibly some ice skating, and even out on the trails.
Yeah, exactly. And we are looking at us getting into a bit of a prolonged period, Brittany, where we're looking at some of those cooler temperatures. So that will be good for those that like outdoor activities, the skating rinks, the trails and whatnot. But before we talk about that, we have a birthday to celebrate tonight. So let's get to this. Teddy is 8 years old today. And thank you, Karen, for sending this picture in. And Teddy, by the way, loves to dress warmly for his walks in the snow. We've got the sweater going on here and, of course, little booties as well. You're going to need those for the next few days. Well, maybe not tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking relatively mild to start, but certainly once we get into the morning hours on Friday and into the weekend, that's when we're looking at some cool air starting to push into the province. So tomorrow up to the freezing mark by the afternoon in Winnipeg. Northwest winds 40 gusting to 60 though, and that could blow around some of that fresh snow or make some of that fresh snow stick as we get through the afternoon, particularly outside the city, and looking at temperatures possibly even reaching that 1 degree mark by the early evening tomorrow. But we'll keep the afternoon temperature at 0 for now. This does not last. So we're into the mild air right now with the upper level winds, but you'll notice what happens to the jet stream as we go into the weekend here. We get another Arctic ridge starting to build. And as we get into the weekend, this is going to plunge our temperatures down in the south, close to minus 25, even approaching minus 30 into parts of northern Manitoba. And you can just see how this blast of cold Arctic air just kind of sits in parts of Manitoba and northwestern Ontario, even as we get into the next work week here with some of those temperatures approaching that minus 30 mark, according to this forecast modeling, at least into parts of the Hudson Bay coast and far northern parts of the province. And this is a pattern that will hold as we get through the next 7 days, but more likely closer to the next 10 days. Your overnight temperatures in most locations overnight tonight in the south rising, minus 7 by tomorrow morning in Winnipeg, but up to plus 1 in parts of western Manitoba. This is where we do have the risk of freezing rain as we get through the evening hours. Plus 1 in Roblin, up to minus 2 by the morning in Brandon. Temperatures rising up to the freezing mark in much of northern Manitoba, 5 to 10 centimeters possible. Lynn Lake through Thompson into Gillam, and looking at the potential potential for 2 to 4 through Norway House and into Grand Rapids. As we get through the day tomorrow, periods of snow through the day, another 5 centimeters likely in the Island Lake Shamattawa region, more like 2 to 4 back into Lynn Lake and Thompson as we get through the afternoon. Tomorrow actually starting a bit on the sunnier side in the west. Then we'll get that main area of low pressure starting to push into the south as we get through the afternoon hours. Temperatures, Brittany, though, hovering around the freezing mark as we get through the day, and that could mean some of the switching over to rain.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
2 Manitoba women are heading to Italy to compete for Canada on the women's ice hockey team. Katie Tabin will be making her first Olympics appearance, but she'll be alongside some seasoned veterans like Jocelyn Larocque. She's won 2 gold medals and a silver medal with the Olympics team. Now she's heading to her 4th games. She spoke with CBC's Marcy Marcusa earlier about finding out she was Olympics bound one more time.
I don't think anyone would have assumed that they made the roster. And I think it's something that, you know, I try to earn every day. And I don't just assume because I've been on the team that I'll make it. So I think that's the mentality that has helped me stay on the team.
Yeah. The team needs experience, especially this time around, though. How do you feel heading into the Olympics, given that your lead up against the Americans obviously didn't go as you'd hoped as they took the games off you guys?
No, I mean, it definitely didn't go as hoped, but it's something that we can learn and get better. And the biggest thing that we learned is that wasn't good enough. So we've been doing Zoom calls, you know, trying to get better every day. And I think individually bringing extra, but, you know, the one thing that it didn't do is that it didn't waver our confidence. We're going there expecting gold and playing for gold.
We have this little clip to play for you, Jocelyn. I love this because for people that missed this announcement on Friday, they're doing the team announcements in a really unique way. So just have a quick little listen here.
Jocelyn Larocque, St. Anne, Manitoba.
So you might be able to tell that little voice doesn't match Jocelyn's voice. That's because it's a little girl, a young female hockey player. They're in their Olympic uniform and they're announcing your name. I always wondered, did you guys get to meet the kids that were going to say your names?
No, and actually we didn't even know that that's how they were going to announce it. I saw that that's how they did it for the men, so I was hoping that that's how they would do it for the women, and they did. And I think that probably would have been a pretty special moment for those 23 young female hockey players to, you know, put on the uniform and probably visualize themselves one day wearing that uniform.
Yeah. What would little Jocelyn think about your Olympic success?
Man, little Jocelyn would be so ecstatic. And, you know, it was a dream of mine once the first Olympics, the 98 Olympics where women's hockey participated for the first time. That's where my dream sparked. So, you know, if little Jocelyn knew that she was going to her 4th Olympics, she'd be just ecstatic. And hockey's always given me so much joy. So, yeah, she'd be pretty excited.
How's the PWHL play going to help you guys?
Oh, I mean, I think, and I've said this before, I think this Olympics will be the fastest paced Olympics ever because there's so many players that are playing at a high level every night. So it's just going to bring up the level of play, not only for Canada and US, but, you know, Czechia, there's, I believe, 7 or 8 athletes that are in the PWHL, and Finland, there's a handful as well, and Sweden as well. So it's just going to elevate.
You're talking about the experienced players like yourself and others in the PWHL as well, but this team has a kind of a core of an experienced group, but then there's a lot of younger players too. Some were even born in 2001, and even thinking about Katie Tabin, first Olympic Games from here in Winnipeg, really exciting. What do you hope to pass along to them about the mindset going into the Olympic Games versus, you know, other competitions that, you know, those that have never experienced this?
Yeah, I mean, those players know that the Olympics, it's its own beast for the sense of like pressure. But at the end of the day, it is still just another game and another tournament. And you've prepared, the preparation doesn't start like when we get there. So to like assure those athletes that you're ready, and you're not just like ready to make the team, you're ready to contribute and help us win. So all those first Olympians, they're ready to contribute. They're ready to make an impact on the team and not just like happy to be there. So it's definitely on us veteran players to make them feel that, believe that, and know that.
What's it been like for you to see the interest in women's hockey skyrocket with the creation of the PWHL?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost surreal. I guess like so late in my career, I I almost have to remind myself that like this is something that isn't just like a one game off, like we played in Winnipeg with the 2018 team and that was sold out, and I've been a part of like sold out venues here and there, but the fact that it's like night in, night out, um, it's amazing. And I just think of my younger self and so many of my teammates that I played with in the past, younger selves, and if they could have seen this, I wouldn't have been telling people when I was younger that I'd be playing in the NHL. I would have told them I'd be playing in the PWHL one day. So it's great that little girls can, say that and have that dream and see it possible.
And we're just a few short weeks away. Still ahead, she's back home after a 2-month ordeal. What it took to find this 4-year-old Korean Jindo mix, that's our Daily Lift. It's coming up next. Stay with us. New climate data has been released showing 2025 was the third warmest year on record. According to researchers, the average global temperature for all of the last 3 years has been about 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. That's the baseline used to track human impacts on temperature. It wasn't the hottest year ever globally, but it was the UK's hottest year ever recorded. Much of Europe broke summer temps records, and at times Nordic countries hit temperatures 10 degrees above average in heat waves directly linked to climate change.
All right, quick look at radar as we head into the evening hours. Watch for the potential radar indicating some freezing rain through parts of the parkland into the Swan Valley. There's that risk that some of this gets into the Narrows and into parts of the Inner Lake as we get through the night tonight. So heads up on that. Otherwise, looking at some scattered flurries across the south overnight. Mix in Winnipeg tomorrow with temperatures right around the freezing mark. Then we see things tanking as we get into the weekend. -23 the high on Sunday. Temperatures hanging around -20 to start next week. And I've got one weather photo for you tonight. This one comes to us from Riding Mountain National Park. Maria took this picture of the snow sculpture that is set up there. You can send yours to talkback at cbc.ca. A BC couple is celebrating the return of their dog who hadn't been seen in months.
The 4-year-old went missing in November and skillfully evaded searchers and her family, and her return is our daily lift. Okay, this is Bommy, a 4-year-old Korean Jindo mix. The rescue dog spent 54 days in the wilderness on Vancouver's North Shore. She took off while out on a walk with her owners after tugging really hard on her leash and slipping out. Now, she is safe and sound at home.
They never gave up on Bommy. So I just really want to thank pet searchers and also the community that was really involved to help us.
Now, it took a team of local rescue specialists to track down Bommy. They had seen several sightings over the last couple of months, and Bommy even managed to somehow slip through traps that rescuers had set. They ended up using a thermal drone to spot the dog and caught her while she was napping in a bush.
Everybody needs a little nap.
I guess.
54 days. I bet you she's got some tales to tell.
Yes. And probably not planning to leave home anytime soon.
No, back safe and sound and probably getting all of the treats and all of the cuddles.
Let's hope.
Right where she belongs. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Stay safe tonight.